So this video is completely for people who doesn't even still in 2026 doesn't know the exact right basics that a person need to understand to at least utilize ChatGPT. After watching this video, and if you're ready to apply that in your real life, you will be using ChatGPT completely different than how you were using it before. So when you ask something to ChatGPT, you can get answers like this, just like how everyone gets. Or you can get answers like this, where it actually feels like ChatGPT really knows you. So like I said before, even in 2026, many people doesn't even know how to use ChatGPT in the right way. You guys know that AI is slowly becoming a part of our daily life, and I know people who literally take the decisions of their day just by asking to ChatGPT or some other AI. So you might have seen the movie Titanic, right? Or you might have at least learned a lesson about it in your school. And here, you might be familiar with the iceberg theory. I mean, you might have seen that iceberg image, right? Like a bit on small on the top and a huge at the bottom. So this top part, which is the small visible part, that's how most people use ChatGPT. And honestly, even I used to do that in the beginning. Not even in the beginning, for a very long time. I was using ChatGPT without realizing I just had this kind of powerful thing in front of me for a very long time. And when you look at the bottom part, that's the real potential. That much knowledge, that much data, that much power, all in our fingertips, and we still doesn't know how to use it properly. So if I'm explaining that in a very simple way where everyone can relate, that is one of the best examples that I can use, like imagine you have a Bugatti or a Pagani in front of your home, and you really have to get to a place as fast as possible. But even though you still had those beasts in front of you parked at your home, you don't have to worry about the gas, you don't have to worry about the maintenance or anything. You can pick and drive the car whenever you want that, but you decided to take your bike, which is sitting in front of your home. And the main reason you decided to take that is not because you hate those cars. The main reason you decided to take it's because you don't know how to drive those cars. That's just exactly what most people are doing with the AI. So in this video, I'm going to show you the basic things that anyone can understand and start doing it from today itself. So while getting into it, the first thing that we should definitely talk about is about the memory. One of the amazing features, not only ChatGPT, even when you look at the humans, we are able to do a lot of things. We are able to develop, we are able to find new things or invent new things because we have memory, because we remember what we did yesterday. We remember who we met yesterday. We remember the things we talked about to our friends or family. We remember about our happy moments and everything. It's because we have something inside us called a memory. But if he doesn't have that, think about it. It's gonna be weird, right? Like people doesn't even know what to do. They might be, I don't know, maybe they will start adding like zombies or I don't know about that. So just like that, if the ChatGPT doesn't have the memory, imagine you have to explain everything about you or anything, just like you're explaining to a person with Alzheimer's. What is it pronounced? I don't know, maybe Alzheimer's, or in some movies I have seen people pronouncing it like Alzheimer's or something. I don't know, but I hope you understood. So it's like I said, if ChatGPT doesn't have any kind of memory, then it's mostly like you're talking to a stranger every time. So if you're a person who has never ever used ChatGPT ever in your life, is what you only need is a ChatGPT account. So you can just come to Google and you can search for ChatGPT and you can search for it. When you come here, you can see the first option, and the only thing that you have to do is you just need to come here and you just need to sign up. So after you finish filling this all up, then you just click finish creating the account. Then a new ChatGPT account is actually created for you. It's not a very big task, just a very basic task, but mostly we does when we get into a new website or when we start using a new app. So if you want, then you can just fill these options. I'm just choosing work and I'm doing next. I think this introduction and everything just came right now because at the time when I was creating an account for ChatGPT, I haven't seen this. So I just skip the tour, just continue. Okay, let's go. So this is a new brand account and the Gmail ID that I used here is my work Gmail ID. So let's get to the part where we talked about memory. So the moment you finish creating a new account in ChatGPT, the next thing that you have to do is you have to come here, just click at the logo, and then you see a few options like this. And here you can either get into settings or you can just go to personalization. And here, when you just scroll down, you can see an option like we mentioned, memory. So immediately what you have to do is you have to I think for most of the people, just like this option is already enabled, and you have to enable this reference chat history options too. So talking about ChatGPT, it actually works in two ways. Let me make it simple for you, which is the first one that you see here is the saved memory, which means this is more likely a notebook. Like if you tell ChatGPT, my name is this is what I do, it really saves it. And the next time you open a new chat, it remembers your name, your goal, your interest. For example, if you say to ChatGPT that you are a social media marketer and later you ask, help me with my business. So ChatGPT might respond like, since you are building a social media marketing business, it remember what kind of person you are, what are you doing, what do you want, what's your name, the main important, most of the things about you. And the second thing is the reference memory, which is the context memory that you can see in this place. So what reference memory is like, this one is a bit different. So we actually related the saved memory to as a notebook, right? But here, this reference memory, it's not a notebook. It just observe your patterns. For example, consider most of your chats are about Instagram growth, ads, marketing. ChatGPT understands it. ChatGPT understands that the user is actually talking about this. They talk a lot about this, so it actually tried to adjust according to that. And if suddenly you start talking about cars, like it will try to adapt again, because conversation that you're having right now has completely changed from what you were talking before. So this memory is more like a recent behavior based understanding. If you still haven't understood this, one of the relatable easiest example that I can use right now is like, so when you go to a doctor, your main file that contains your name, your history, your conditions, your age, most important things about you, and that is a saved memory. And when the doctor asks to you and says, last time you had a fever, right? That is a reference memory. So one of the cool features that you can actually try here is like, when you come to this place and when you see manage, you can see there is no new thing that is saved here except this. There is no new thing saved here because this is a new brand account we created a few minutes ago. So, and if I just save here, hey, my name is Joe and I am a business man. And if I say to ChatGPT, save this in memory. So let's see. See, now you can see an option like updated saved memory. So most of the times it's like, people just use ChatGPT normally, and if ChatGPT really wanted it, it might save that in the memory. Not everything that you ask, not everything that you talk to ChatGPT is not actually saved. But if you say to ChatGPT, like save this in the memory to itself, like you're commanding and you're saying to ChatGPT, like this is what I should be known for, you have to save this in the memory. ChatGPT directly save it in the memory, and you can see that updated saved memory. So last time when we checked, it was completely new, and this time when you check, you can see that option that is saved in that place. See, the name is Joe and they are a businessman. So ChatGPT saved it. So next time ChatGPT knows what's your name and what is that you do. So now let's talk about something which is a bit more, interesting and a bit more powerful. So if you want to completely stay organized and avoid confusion, this is one of the best features that you can actually use in ChatGPT. So that is called, here you can see the projects. So projects are like, creating a separate workspace inside ChatGPT. So if you look into the use of your phone, you use WhatsApp for chatting And you might be using Instagram for posting photos, posting videos, uploading stories, or maybe for scrolling. And you might be using the notes for writing, YouTube to consume the content. So you don't do everything in one app, right? There is separate apps and platforms for almost everything. So just like that, now just think about if everything was actually in a one place. Everything is in a one place. It's gonna be a bit more messy. So that thing actually happens to ChatGPT. The more things you ask to ChatGPT, the more things you keep saying it, finally maybe ChatGPT sometimes can get confused. You can say like, what if I create a new chat and I ask different things? See, it's still saved in the saved memory. So because of that, sometimes you don't receive a perfect answer for what you are looking for, and things are going to be more complicated in situations. To make things a bit more professional, to receive a very good and wonderful answers for what you are looking for is the reason we use the projects. I personally use it, and there are a few things that you have to set up. There is a very simple step that you have to do while creating the projects, and when you do that and when you start using it, now see the answers. Things will be a bit more different than how it has been while you were using normal chats. So to create a project, what you have to do is you can come into this place. You can give any name you want. For example, if you are in the field of marketing, and this is what you really want help with, you can name this marketing. And the very much important part is you can see two options here. So the default option is like the project can actually access memories from outside the chats and vice versa, which means the project can actually use your whole the memories that is saved by the ChatGPT. So if you are choosing that option, then there is no point of creating a project. You understand? I would say like to go for the project only option. So the project, this thing, might not be checking into any of your memories inside ChatGPT. It only answers the thing that you asked it. For example, in this project, it's like a box. Everything you ask, every kind of PDFs you send, every kind of photos and everything you send inside this project is about marketing. So it only knows that thing because it only can access the things that you were only talking in that project option. So the more the ChatGPT understands what your intention is, what do you want help with, the more accurate and the more powerful it can reply to you, or the more amazing way it can give the reply and help you with whatever help you're looking for or whatever solutions for the problems that you're looking for. So just go and search the project only option, and what you have to do is you just only have to create the project, and then it's created. And just like this, you can create multiple project options, and maybe you want to create a project for content creation, maybe you want to create project for your business, maybe your personal stuff, maybe as a personal coach for you. The thing is, like I said, ChatGPT completely stay focused on that topic. And here you can add the instruction, define your goals, what are the things you need help with. For example, like, and also the same time when you come to this place, if you really want, you can upload the images, you can upload your Google Drive things, and you can give the prompts and everything here. So everything inside this place will be completely organized and completely more accurate. So for a very small example, I'm just showing you, like, I'm pasting a prompt here which is telling this project campaign to act as a coach straight with 20 years of experience in brand marketing, digital marketing, performance marketing, content strategy, lead generation, conversion optimization, social media, and everything. And I'm telling it bit by bit how to act, what kind of ways it should definitely act, what kind of response it should actually gives me. And then I'm sending this project. So like we said, it only gets saved inside this marketing project. So for example, like, see, now it understands, good, I will coach you and I would be a real client, but first I need to understand your business properly. Without that, any strategy I give you will be generic and a waste of your time and money. So see this, now it asks you to fill in the blanks. So that's what I'm saying. The more you can make ChatGPT understand what it actually wants, the more it can really help you. And if you fill all these kind of things, rather than just asking some random questions and receiving some bullshit answer, you will receive some accurate, amazing answer just like you receive from an expert. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes you have to keep trying, and sometimes it depends upon the prompt you're asking. Prompt has a huge importance. It's a different case. We will talk about that. The most thing is make ChatGPT understand what you need help with. So the next thing we are actually moving to is, this is one of the most powerful feature, which is the custom instruction. So in the beginning of the video, I asked you, right, like if you really want to receive an answer from ChatGPT like this, or if you really want to receive an answer from ChatGPT like someone who already knows you, and this custom instruction plays a huge role in that part. So one of the most problems that I found lately in ChatGPT is like it is designed to be polite, and sometimes it agrees too much. Sometimes it sugarcoats answers. Sometimes it's avoid being direct. So in the beginning days of using ChatGPT, like what I'm about to say, most of the people have noticed it. Like it does not have a stand. It doesn't stand strongly with a statement. So sometimes I ask some serious things to ChatGPT. If what ChatGPT said is not correct, I would say, no, this is not what I found in other sources. This is not what I heard from other people. I think the answer is this. Then suddenly ChatGPT is like, what is the name of that animal that changed the color so fast when it gets to some kind of come on, I just forgot the name of it. Like when it gets to green, it becomes green. When it gets to other, like what is it, brown, then it becomes brown. What was the name of that animal? I hope you understood that. So the moment I say that, then ChatGPT also turn to the situation and say, yeah, you're right. Like maybe it can be like this. Maybe I'm so sorry, I was wrong. That you're right. This is the thing. And even if I still say like, I'm sorry, the first statement you said is correct. I was the person who's wrong. ChatGPT still agrees to that. And I was like, why? Why is it always agreeing to what I said is right rather than being standing still on the statement, the correct statement, or looking for the truth? Why is it always agreeing to me? So the thing is like the ChatGPT is actually made into a way to, the sugarcoat people. It's made into a way like if a user is asking something to ChatGPT, it's not supposed to hurt the feelings of that user. It should answer without hurting it. That's why it's actually trying to sugarcoat it. And when it tries to sugarcoat and when it tries to hide the things, it is hiding the truth. It's more like a misleading answer. So, I mean, what is the point of sugarcoating just by avoiding the actual truth? So, if you want to really change that, if you're not a sugar baby, if you just, if you really want the truth, even though it hurts, even though if anything happens, if you really want the truth from the ChatGPT, so what you have to do is, you have to go to settings like we did before, and in settings there is personalization, and when you come to this place you can see something called, like we said, custom instructions. This is the place where you are supposed to paste a prompt, and after you paste that prompt, now ChatGPT start acting like depending upon the prompt you give in that place, because ChatGPT understands that this is what the user wants. He or she doesn't care about the sugar coating, or if I actually try to tell the truth, he or she doesn't care. And when in that case, I will try to give that prompt, so you can screenshot it, or I will give that prompt in the description so you can directly copy and paste that in your ChatGPT. So this is a prompt. And after finish copying that prompt, come to this place and just paste it and just hit the save. Boom. Custom instructions updated. Now ChatGPT understands what you want. ChatGPT understands what kind of person you want. It's not going to hide the truth. This custom instruction is one of the most important part that nobody ever should miss. And like I said before, I'm repeating it again. Not only ChatGPT, any AI understands what you are actually trying to tell it. Like a doctor understands what's the patient really need helps with. The more they understand, the more they can help. So you have got a lot of options around here to customize. If you fill these options, like what is your occupation, more about you, what are your interests and everything, it can really make the conversations a bit more amazing. because the more the options and the more the information you give to ChatGPT, the more it knows you, the more it friendly, and like the example that I showed you in the beginning, the more amazing the answers will be. And the next thing we have to talk about, which is the final part, that is the GPTs. So these GPTs are mostly like a custom built AI tools for specific use cases. So maybe for mostly GPTs can get a bit confused because it is mostly similar to projects. GPTs are actually similar to projects, but it is a bit more advanced. And the main difference is GPTs are actually made for, like I said, specific tasks, and they are shareable, and you can give them more structured instructions. So to start using the GPT, you can see an option like apps here. Then you can come to the apps, and then you can see a lot of options here, or you can just click the GPTs. And here, these are the GPTs which is specially made for these kind of purposes. So what do we choose right now? So let us say I choose a GPT which is made in the option of research and analysis, a specific GPT that is made for marketing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the chat. I'm gonna ask to the GPT to help me with something like, so hey, help me with creating a plan for new e-commerce business that launched few days ago. So let's see, what is it actually trying to say? So this is what I really love about this thing. To understand more, it is actually asking you, what are you selling? What are your target audience? What is a budget range? What are the platforms you're working on? And then the more it understands, the more powerful answer it can actually give to you. So this GPT that we just accessed right now is from a free plan. And from what I heard, there are other GPTs, but the thing about that is if you want to access those, you need a paid plan. But most of the GPTs that I tried to access was free actually. Maybe the paid plan GPTs were extremely trained for that situations. Extremely, maybe they might be that much good. Maybe that's the reason why they are included in the paid plans. I still haven't found it because I'm actually using a few GPTs only for my personal purposes. And if I found anything about it, then I will update you guys in the YouTube shorts or maybe in the next video. But right now, this GPT is something that you must use if you want things to be accurately on some specific task. So these are the very basic things that everyone must know. These are not the huge things out here. Like I said, bottom of the iceberg, I'm not even touching that part in this place. This is a very basic, just like a person knows the things inside a car, like what is a clutch, what is an accelerator, what is a brake, how many gear does a car have. So just like the basic things like that, these things are the very basic. Everyone who's using ChatGPT must know about that. And the things we talked about, the bottom of the ChatGPT, that much potential and everything, I might be doing that video, and it can be a bit more complicated for completely beginners who are not that much technical. I don't have any kind of that much technical knowledge. The way I'm trying to doing these things is like by trying. Maybe I'm gonna make a mistake and I'm gonna try again, I'm gonna learn again. That's how I learned all these kind of things. Before ending the video, I have to say one more important thing to you, which is a term that you might have heard. I talked about that in this video, and I told you that we will talk about that after some time, which is about prompting. So basically, prompting is about how you actually communicate with AI. Mostly we talk to AI like how we talk to humans, like, right? AI cannot always understand what you are actually trying to tell it. See, for example, you might have heard about the Python, and there is a lot of language out there. Those are the mission languages. So if the mission need to understand what you are trying to tell it, we need that language. to make it understand. Do you understand? If you're talking to a person from another country and that person doesn't know what you're talking about, how can they help? You either need a translator or you either need to learn that language, right? But when it comes to using ChatGPT, you don't have to learn anything, any kind of other language or anything. You can use a common English language, but prompting really helps the AI to understand what you are actually trying to say. So the better you prompt, the better your result. And honestly, it's not that much complicated. Just a few changes can make a huge difference. For example, like I said, I gave you a prompt, right? Like to paste in the custom instruction. That is a prompt. Look at the way it's actually made. And we pasted something in the marketing project, right? We pasted something in an accurate way. That's not the way we humans actually talk about. Every kind of set of instructions inside that marketing project is, you might have just, you can just go back and check that. It's not a perfect prompt, but it really makes the AI understand what you're actually trying to say, what kind of help you need with it. So mostly like the prompting actually includes a few things, more like the roles, the context, what you need help with, what you actually want, and everything. So if you really want, I can make a new video about it. Like if anyone with no coding background or anyone with no technical language or anything, you can still learn it. So by the time I upload this video, I wouldn't have made the video about prompting, but in the future, if I had created that video of the prompting, then I can actually guide you to that video just by some kind of thing that slides from here, from the point. I will give it here or here, whatever it is, or I will give that link in the description. So make sure the thing about prompting, you don't miss that, because that small change can bring a huge difference in the way ChatGPT actually communicate with you. So make sure you don't miss that.